Starting 2 years ago, Ohio House Bill 487, fancy name, was established to provide academically qualified students in grades 7 through 12 access to college-level coursework that is not remedial or religious in nature prior to graduation from high school. This program promotes rigorous academic pursuits and provides a wide variety of options to college-ready students. The successful completion of college credit courses under this program not only earns high school students transferable college-level credit, but also credit that satisfies high school graduation criteria. The program was also expanded last year so that it will include students in grades 7 through 12. The College Credit Plus is a student-directed program. Students and their families can explore courses offered at all Ohio public colleges and participating private colleges for possible participation in College Credit Plus. The goal of CCP is to provide more choices and opportunities for students. We know that today there are many options and choices. It seems like there are more and more every single day. And the reality is that there is no way that a student can do everything. As we share tonight about the courses that are available through CCP, please remember that these decisions need to be made with your individual child in mind. I encourage you to pray about all aspects of your child's experience here at FCA, as well as your family as a unit. I can tell you that the high school years will fly quickly. Days are long when you raise a kid, but years fly by. And I know that with my two sons, the best memories that they have looking back are the friends that they made, the sports teams they were on, and having an education that prepared them for college and graduate school. I know you value education. That's why you're here tonight. And you value your children. So I encourage you to prayerfully consider all the facets of your family's schedule as you plan out the years ahead. I'd like to introduce tonight's speakers. There's actually two of us, and give you an overview of how the program's going to run. First, I'm Becky Knechtel. I'm the guidance counselor, and my new title this year is Academic Dean here at FCA. And I've been in education for 35 years. I have my undergrad from Capital in elementary education with a reading certification, and then I have my master's degree from the University of Dayton. So I've been in education for 35 years, and I've been a guidance counselor for 31 years. Kara Stevens, who is in the back graciously handing out the packets, is our admissions director here at FCA, and she's not going to speak, but she's available to help answer questions. One of the things that's great about Kara is that Mrs. Stevens is that she is a 2010 graduate of FCA. She attended OCU, which is our partner in college, where she earned her bachelor's degree in psychology, and she worked in the admissions department admissions office at OCU, specifically in the PSEO program, which is the precursor of CCP. She is presently pursuing her master's degree in counseling and is about a year away from completion, and basically now is in the guidance internship phase of her master's training. So she's amassing her experiential hours, which I believe for the state of Ohio she has to have 600 in order to be a qualified guidance counselor in Ohio. So her knowledge of OCU and the program makes her in perfect position to learn the ropes of being a guidance counselor and then assisting not only with CCP but also scheduling and many other guidance responsibilities. In fact, her assistance with scheduling this works really well into her course and makes our program here at FCA stronger, because there are very few Christian schools that can say that they have two certificated master's degree guidance counselors on staff. Mrs. Beth Ash, who will be speaking later to you, she's the director of the College Credit Program at Ohio Christian, which is officially the Trailblazer Academy. OCU, again, is the college that we partner with for our courses that are taught here at FCA. Mrs. Ash is also Professor Ash, as she is one of our OCU on-site instructors here at FCA. She teaches our psych and our sociology classes. And she has been instrumental in helping us with the changes and making the program work. She's a wonderful instructor and is learning the program along with everybody else. And she has her assistant Heather, who's here today helping as well. So we have 4 people. You can ask questions at the end should you have any. The CCP program is still being developed, even though it started 2 years ago. Due to changes in their timeline as they saw how things progressed and a couple things that they did to expand the academic year, it is necessary for us to provide information earlier during the year. And so that is why this meeting is way earlier, and you will find that as I go through the PowerPoint that the application and the funding paperwork has to be completed before the end of the school year, in fact, by the middle of April. This moving up of the timeline is a really good thing for the students. It's going to drive me crazy, but it's a good thing for the students because we're going to know before the end of the school year how much funding they have, and then they can adjust their schedule instead of having to wait till next year. I think that's really good because then the students will know, okay, yes, I have enough money, or maybe I need to, if I want to take another class, I might have to work in the summer and earn money to pay for that class. So that's a good thing. This also means that here at FCA, we've got to move a little faster to get our master schedule and our schedule information from the students so that we can build that master schedule. So that's why in the packets that you received, you're also receiving a copy of the graduation requirements and next year's scheduling request forms, because that's information that you also need in order to make those decisions. Mrs. Stevens and I will be meeting with students starting with grade 11 this Thursday and working down to the 6th grade over the next 2 weeks, getting in there and getting the information so that they can tell us what classes they want to take next year. It's really an exciting time, and although the changes to CCP do require us to move sooner, it will in the long run allow us and the students to know their schedule going into the next school year with better clarity sooner. As a person who's watched this program over many years when it was PSEO and then moved into CCP, one of the things I've seen from the majority of the students who have successfully incorporated the college courses into their high school careers are those that took advantage in their early years putting together the high school courses that they needed so that they could target their college courses during their junior and senior year. One of the curriculum expansions that we are looking at this year is to open up Spanish 1 to our 8th graders. So students that are presently in 7th grade will have the opportunity to take Spanish 1 as an 8th grade. And that is one of the reasons for that is to allow them the chance to begin that Spanish coursework early, as well as continue to take the art and the phys ed that they have for high school, along with those who choose to do summer health the year after their 8th grade year, or the summer after their 8th grade year. We also have opened up a new high school. We're opening up, if we have enough interest, we have kilns bought for a high school ceramics and painting option. So those are also included in the listing of courses. So I think that's really good to give our younger students the opportunity to get a good foundation as they prepare in maturity to take classes later in high school. Now, the 10th and 11th grade packets that you have are made for your students. They have their name on it, and they also have information as to their eligibility for OCU courses based on GPA and the testing that they've taken so far, which includes the PSAT and ACT or SAT if they've taken it. The transcript, the student's transcript is also included. That's for the 10th and 11th graders. Please note they only have your credits for first semester are not on there. Since we had the snow day and exams didn't end till today, there was no way I could get an updated transcript. We're hoping that with grades getting in, we can maybe get that into the kids' hands maybe Thursday morning when I go in to talk to them about scheduling. And if not, they will certainly be there when we open up Info Now for the kids to see their report cards. The unofficial transcript will be updated. So at this time, I want to start going through the actual CCP PowerPoint. This PowerPoint is posted on the FCA website already, and like I said, once we're done with the video, that's also going to be on the website for those who can't attend, and if you guys really want to watch me again. Thank you again to the media team who is doing their double duty tonight, and if you can, stick around and cheer the varsity girls on, which is exciting. So, College Credit Plus. What is College Credit Plus? Basically, it's earning dual college credit while you're in high school. It allows college-ready students in grades 7 through 12 to earn what's called transcripted credit for college courses while they are in high school. And the courses can be taken at your high school, on a college campus, or they can be taken online at any Ohio college. The goals of College Credit Plus are to create access for students to be admitted remediation-free to the university eventually. They should challenge students who are motivated and academically strong to complete college course assignments and expectations, and then it also allows students to explore academic areas and interests. So who can participate? All qualifying students, grades 7 through 12. Public universities and schools must participate in the program, and private universities and schools may participate, so we choose to participate. The student must be admitted to a public or a participating private university in Ohio, and it is the university that determines the student's eligibility to be admitted to the college, not FCA, but the university. So the students need to meet the admissions criteria of the participating university, which is probably going to include GPA, prerequisite coursework, and placement testing. There are some similarities, but each college is different in their minimum requirements. The types of college courses that a student can take: they can take classes that are offered at the high school that are taught by qualified high school instructors. Those have to be master's degrees instructors, or a visiting college professor can come on campus. Classes can also be on an actual college campus. We have a few students who have taken classes at OUL, and there are many, many, many other online places and other courses that a student could participate. The college courses cannot be remedial. They have to be actual college courses, and the college courses need to be non-sectarian. That means that they cannot take Bible courses. Okay. Potential risks. College work obviously is going to be more rigorous, and it's going to take more time to complete. Basically, they're going to do more in less time. They're going to be expected to do more outside of class. Transportation is not provided to the college campuses. That is why having OCU come here, having our teachers teach the classes here on campus makes it so much better, because we don't have to worry about transporting, losing time. High school, college campuses' schedules do not always match up. Spring breaks do not match up. Snow days do not happen very often at colleges, and those things don't always align. The nice thing about having our classes here on campus is that our professors can adjust and work within the spring break and the snow days. The college course credits may not always transfer to out-of-state or private colleges, so one of the things I tell my seniors, make sure that you check these things out. But most of the kids, in fact, I don't think I have any student who has not had their credits accepted. Now, for a little while, we have to do some jumping around to get syllabuses sent and it reviewed and stuff, but once a college has accepted the credits, once our guinea pig kids are through, then it's all good. Okay, who pays the tuition? Which is a good question. The college tuition, not the FCA tuition. Private high school students intending to take college courses must apply for what's called state funding to cover the tuition costs. The non-public funding is managed by the Ohio Department of Education and the Department of Higher Education. One of the problems last year was that it was written that a student could sign up for 30 hours. And there's a formula, and I think what happened last year is that in the past with PSEO, a lot of times guidance counselors advise students just sign up for as many hours as you want, because you're only going to get 8. And that is basically what they had in the past. And I think maybe that did not get explained as well, and so what happened is we had students who, and in fact I have one student, even though I told him not to sign up for 30 hours, went home and signed up for 30 hours. And what happened was that this past year, all of the seniors basically got all of the hours that they requested. Then it got to juniors and they were running out of money, so the juniors got one class, and then after that, anybody in 10th on down got anywhere in the state of Ohio, non-publics got 0 hours to take college courses. So everybody that was excited about applying, I mean, they're very, very upset people. So this year, what the 2016-17 plan is, and I don't know if it's going to work, but this is their plan, is that they're going to start by awarding one funding allocation of 3 semester hours to seniors first, then to juniors, then to sophomores, then to 9th graders, all the way down to the 7th graders who have applied and are eligible. And then they will go back to the seniors, and as long as there's enough funding again, they'll award 2 more allocations until the funds run out. So unfortunately, I think our seniors are going to be, we're probably looking at them getting 9 if everything works out, 9 semester hours next year, and then possibly juniors only getting 1 class again. So that is unfortunately the situation with the non-public funding, because there's just not an unendless amount of funding. The good thing is that my one student who signed up for 30 hours, he didn't use 30 hours. I think he used 15. The 15 that he didn't use will go back into the pool, and that is not going to be wasted. That will be part of the allocation. So I'm hoping that even with that, unused funding will be able to be used. Now, if a student does not receive full funding for college courses that are taught at FCA, the student can be charged a reduced tuition fee. And we have a wonderful tuition agreement with OCU where even if you have to pay for the classes, they are way cheaper than what the student would pay at a college university. One of the other things that is really neat about this program is that no student who qualifies for economic disadvantage status can be denied or basically has to pay for the coursework. So there is information on our website as to what that entails, and if we have a student that is economically disadvantaged, because we do have that sometimes, tuition cannot be charged to those students. And you guys, if that's the case, students need to talk with me, and then I direct them to the proper college location. Okay, how do the credits work together? All right, taking a college credit course is considered dual credit. So students receive both high school credit and college credit. One high school credit, which is usually 1 full year class, like Bible is a high school credit or English is a high school credit, is what's called 1 Carnegie unit. Now, when you take college semester courses, which are semester courses, they have to be transferred into Carnegie units so that we can mathematically be talking apples to apples instead of apples to oranges. So what the state said was that any 3, 4, or 5 college semester hour class is going to also equal 1 Carnegie unit. So any student that takes a 3, 4, or 5 semester hour course earns 1 full credit. So some of our students this year this first semester took sociology. Those students earned a full credit of sociology, social studies credit for that. And then 2 college semester hour credits is 2/3 of a Carnegie unit, and 1 is 1/3 of a Carnegie unit. Okay, that's part of the equation. The next thing is to know how many credits a student can have in an academic year. Last year, the academic year was considered fall and spring semester, 2 semesters. One of the changes to CCP this year is the opening, and another reason why the timeline is quickened is that they have opened the first term being the summer, second term the fall, and the third term the spring. So it basically means that we apply for funding, the student gets the funding in May, that student could take a summer course at a college if they are accepted and they want to. So that's one of the changes. So your academic year runs from summer to spring. So summer, fall, spring, that's an academic year. Now within that academic year, a student can only earn 30 semester credits during that academic year. Okay, it cannot exceed that amount. So how do you figure that out? Well, you go to the formula, and the formula basically says that you take the number of high school credit-only courses that the student has, you multiply that by 3, you get an answer, then you subtract that from 30, and whatever that amount is the amount of college semester credits that a student can earn for that academic year. So I'm going to take a junior and I'm going to say, okay, I got a junior and they've decided that they're going to take Bible, English, chemistry, Spanish 3, visual media, and they're going to try ceramics. Okay, that's 6 credits next year that they know is going to be on their schedule. There's 6 high school credits. So we know that they're taking 6 credits. We multiply that by 3, that's 18. We subtract the 18 from the 30, and that means that 12 is the maximum amount of college semester hours that they can take during the academic year. Okay? And that doesn't matter if that's the amount they can take. Even if the student wants to pay for 15 hours, they can't take 15 hours. They can only take 12 during that academic year. Okay? The thing is that 30 semester hours in a year really is 10 high school credit hours. So you can see that, you know, that's pretty generous. Okay, so that's the formula that we need to look at, and that's the reason why you guys need to have an idea of what classes you want to take here at FCA that are high school only courses in order to have an idea of how to fund or plan for the college courses. Okay, so how does CCP impact high school graduation transcripts? Well, basically the high school credit from your college coursework can satisfy, will satisfy, or it will exceed graduation and subject area requirements. College classes are part of a student's permanent college record and will stay with them. Students should also consider their workload, rigor, and their abilities, and the GPA for high school and college is impacted by these courses. So those are some of the things that you need to understand. The student's GPA is going to include their college course. It is possible that the college GPA will begin with these college courses, depending on what college they go to. Some colleges, the students will transfer, and it will just transfer as only a transfer credit and not a GPA, but some will take that grade. Okay, what if a student fails the class, which is an important question. If a student the student will earn both an F on their high school and their university transcript, and that grade will also be computed into both GPAs. So that is something that needs to be considered. The student also, in the case of failing the course, are we on this slide, Ian? Are you sleeping on me? Don't do that. Okay, good, thanks. The student will have to pay for the course that's been failed, or even if they drop the course after the withdrawal date, the student would have to pay for the course. There is a period that if a student takes a class and they decide, man, I'm over my head, I got to drop the class, there's usually a 2-week period that they can drop it without any penalty, but they just need to make sure that they do that. Okay, benefits of taking college courses. Obviously, it can save time and it can save money by taking college courses at FCA for college credit. Even paying for the classes, like I said, if the non-public funding isn't there, it is a less expensive option. So that can be very beneficial if the student is ready and if that is the path that the student needs to take for high school. Not every student will embrace CCP. Okay? Not every student likes that, but it is an opportunity that's out there. The student can also experience college while they're still part of the community at FCA. One of the things that we've worked really hard at here at FCA is to make sure that the college classes fit snugly in, and so that a student can take more than one class and doesn't have to waste time sitting around in a study hall. I know my son's fiance is working at Reynoldsburg at the STEM school there, and they have Columbus State College campus. Columbus State, who teaches college campuses at their campus. And she has lots and lots of kids that are taking a class for Columbus State that meets 2 days a week during 2 periods, and then the other 3 days a week, they just sit in the Student Success Center and do nothing. So it can be kind of, you know, it's one of the things that I'm just real pleased that we've been able to mesh in the FCA classes with the college classes. And then the other thing is that it allows you to explore college courses of interest while you are still in high school. Transferring your college credits. The college courses Course credits will transfer to most public and private universities as long as you earn a final grade of C- or higher in the courses. And again, depending upon the college, the grade may transfer or just the credit may transfer. The courses can help you fulfill either general ed requirements or even a major requirement for either the associate's or bachelor's degree. All of our classes here at FCA are gen ed classes, so they're your basic meat and potatoes that you need for colleges, general comp, psychology, sociology, those types of gen ed classes. Which leads me into Ohio Trailblazers Academy. FCA, we do partner with Ohio Christian University. The program that their underage program is called Ohio Trailblazers Academy. The qualified staff and OCU professors teach the following courses here at FCA. We have Intro to Soc, General Psych, Western Civ, Special Topics in History, which is Holocaust, Statistics and Analysis, Calculus 1. This year we added Calculus 2. We have our first 2 students earning Calculus 2 credit, English Comp, and then Basics of Oral Comp, Communication. Students can also take online courses, and those are listed actually in your packet that you got for OCU. Okay, the process. Basically, the best thing you can do is to take the checklist that's in your packet. And the nice thing is that when we email you the checklist, it will have embedded links. That paper doesn't have an embedded link. I'm sorry. But if you use the one that we'll email starting tomorrow, you can click in. The first thing is to determine the courses you want to take for the upcoming school year. So using your transcript, scheduling form, and the course formula sheet, you need to see how many hours you want to take. And that's really good for you guys to evaluate what's good for our family. How many hours is a reasonable amount? Is this something we can do? Is this something we wait and do? Have to complete, there is an FCA permission to participate form. This is new this year, okay? This is for FCA guidance. This helps keep us on track with your progress. I am unhappy to have to say that we have 4 students this year that did not turn in their paperwork. And so they ended up having to pay for the college courses because they didn't turn in what they needed to do on time. That's one of the things that if it is student driven, there's a lot of paperwork that has to be done, and it has to be done and sent out. We will do our best to track it, but we're gonna stick with starting with that permission to participate. That student is on my radar as long as I have that, and we'll do the best we can to get reminders out. The next thing is to complete the Ohio Department of Education intent to participate for non-public students. That form presently is not on the site, okay, because they're still updating it. But that form, pardon? 1st of February. Okay, that form is supposed to be available the 1st of February. So you got plenty of time to kind of look ahead. But February 1st, that form will be available, and then that form needs to be sent to the Ohio Department of Education by April 1st. That basically says that, yes, I intend to participate in the program. If you change your mind, no problem. But if you don't send it in by April 1st, could be a problem. Okay, so there's FCA's permission to participate. You could even fill that out tonight if you want to and give that to Mrs. Stevens. The intent that ODE has, not available till February 1st, but has to be in by April 1st. The next step is, that can also start now, is to apply to the college. And once you receive that acceptance, then you have to bring that acceptance letter into the guidance office. Now, I know that OCU can start applying. I think their deadline this year is March 18th. It's way earlier, okay? So if you're going to do FCA classes here for college credit through OCU, that has to be done by the March 18th deadline. If you are a student who took classes this year, you're in OCU's class, there is a short form, yay for the short forms, that you can use to fill out for your application. But you still need to request your transcripts, and you'll still need to request your testing be sent over to OCU for evaluation. Once you're accepted, and once the non-public funding form is on the website, then there is a funding form that you have to fill out. And it's a little more detailed because it involves working with that formula, that 30 formula, and only signing up for that amount. You cannot exceed that 30. So that is why it's important to know how many classes you want to take at FCA, how many classes you think you want to take, so that you can apply for that. Now, that doesn't mean that if you ask for a little bit more and you get it, you'll then have to adjust your schedule back on campus, so that we're not exceeding that 30 hours. Okay. Parents have to sign that, and that has to be sent in. And I believe that's deadline for that is going to be mid-April for the non-public form. They then have 5 weeks or so that they're going to decide who's eligible, disperse the funding amount, and then they will send you a funding award letter that says, congratulations, you are eligible to take this many classes or this much in college coursework. When you get that, then you'll bring that form into the guidance office, and at that point we'll look at your schedule, and then we'll register you for the classes that you want for college. And that's the opportunity then we can make changes to your overall schedule. Okay? If there is not enough funding, as I said, the student can either wait till next year to take courses, or they can opt to take courses for high school credit. We have quite a few students in the, well, no, we didn't this year, because all the kids in the senior year got those who applied got hours. It's the ones who didn't put the paperwork in that had to pay on their own. But the partnership that we have with OCU is that basically if a college class is taught by our FCA teachers, that course is $75 a semester hour. So it's really a reasonable price for the course. If it is an OCU professor that comes to our campus, that would be like Social and Psych, Mrs. Ash does that. It's $110 per semester hour, so the class is $330. And then if the student takes either an online or an actual campus OCU class, it's $160. Again, that's very reasonable if you know the price of college coursework at colleges. Right now, it's very, very, very expensive per semester hour. Okay, at this time, I would like to introduce Mrs. Beth Ash, who will walk through the information as to how to do the application. Now, basically I think have I said everything of the changes and done everything or not? I think you're going to hit on some things.
For the most part, I might fill in a little
Okay, okay, good.
And she can be we have four brains between the four of us. Hopefully we'll get all the information and get out to everybody.
All right, so Mrs. Beth Ash, everybody.
Good evening. It is always an honor to come and be here with you all. This is like a second home to me. I started teaching through OCU for FCA this spring semester in 2011, so not long ago. It seems like yesterday, but I have immediately, when I came, within a few weeks, I felt as though I'd been here a very long time. Just a wonderful atmosphere to be amongst, wonderful staff to work with, fabulous students whom I love very much. I get quite attached to your young men and women here, and consider it just an honor to be able to be with them the 3 days a week that I come, and to watch them grow and develop over the year or 2 years that I'm with them. And always shed a tear at graduation to see them move on, but with great joy as well to see what God has done in them. So I have to tell you that not just personally, but also at OCU, we tremendously value the relationship that we have with Fairfield Christian Academy. And we thank you so much for the opportunity that you give us to come and speak into your children's lives, and to have the opportunity to share Christ with them, as well as a little bit of this world that we live in, and be able to share it through a Christian worldview. It really is a tremendous joy and an honor. I do want to introduce to you, briefly, Becky did share with you that I brought one of my staff members with me. Her name is Heather Martin. Heather, if you'll stand. Heather is our online advisor, and she's also our recruiter. So those of your students who work in the online format, Heather would be there to assist them along the way. So if they have any questions, if they have issues with their course, or general questions, problems that they're having that they need assistance with, then they could definitely contact me at any time. That's certainly true. But Heather is directly working with the online students, and she's becoming more and more an expert. Having taught a class last semester in the online format, she taught Introduction to Government for us last semester, and has become just a tremendous asset to us. So it's a joy to have her as a new member of the Trailblazer Academy team. It is true, I have been working with Introduction to Sociology and General Psychology now for these 5 years, and so much believe in the value of what I've been able to experience through being a teacher in this program, that I think it's just a tremendous opportunity. But I also do have a heart to say that it is an opportunity that we don't take lightly. That when we talk with our students, we really encourage them to be college ready, and that's the thing that we want to see happen. We want to see our students successful and doing well, and giving them the support that they need to do well. And part of that, the most important thing is right off the bat, making sure that your student feels that they're ready for this opportunity too. It's incredible to think that your junior high student could be in college courses. And we have had, in this last semester, we had some students that did very, very well. So it can be done. But we also want to make sure that your student is ready. Even though they may test well, and on paperwork it looks great, but we also want to look inside of the student and their experiences and what they're doing throughout the school year, and just make sure that they feel ready for that opportunity too, and to offer them that support right off the bat. So without further ado, hit it, Ian. Okay. The admissions requirements. Within your packet, you should have hopefully, received a packet that looks like this. Feel free to open that up, and we'll walk through this together. Now, there is a brochure in here that just gives you a little more information about the program overall, about OCU as well as our program specifically. And then there's going to be some other material that we'll look through. On the left-hand side, you should see a printout of the PowerPoint that we're going to be walking through tonight. And behind it, there will be some general information that we'll be touching on, and then all of the forms that you will need to be aware of that will need to be filled out for your students in order to get them going in the application process. Now, all of these forms are available through Mrs. Knechtel and Mrs. Stevens as well, and you can also access, I think, pretty much just about all of them pretty soon on the website. Not yet. We are in the middle of updating the website, so we don't have that available yet, so keep that in mind, but it will be soon. And when we do have it up, I'll try to give Mrs. Knechtel and Mrs. Stevens a high sign so that you can do that. But you can access the online application at any time, and that's the very first thing that you'll want to do to get the process going. You follow the protocol that Mrs. Knechtel and Mrs. Stevens have for you, but on the OCU end, the first step is that application. You can fill out the paper application and get it to Mrs. Knechtel, who will get it to me, or you can go right online and you can apply online. Now, Mrs. Knechtel, do you have a preference about that? Would you prefer that they did the paper through you or online? Is it okay either way?
Either way is fine.
Okay.
It's just that you'll need to fill out the transcript in your folder. There's a transcript request thing. Let me know so that I know to trigger that. If the student brings the paper one in, that's easy. I say, oh yeah, good. You can send that in, and in fact, I can put it together, and Mrs. Ash is with us 3 days a week, and she becomes my little mail person. If you do it online, I just need to know that we need to, again, get it to Mrs. Ash, and she'll mail it.
Great. And Mrs. Knechtel is a wealth of information. So I feel like I have the other half of my brain over here when it comes to this work. She really helped me when I got started in this process tremendously. So you have a gem in these two ladies over here. For admissions requirements, we do ask for and look at a minimum of 2.0 GPA. We're an open enrollment school, so we do like to keep the playing field a little bit more open to be able to have the opportunity to reach more students and to guide them in their academic process. We have an ACT score minimum of 19 or more, of course, or an SAT or Compass equivalent. This will be the last year this spring. This will be the last year that we'll be offering the Compass. We look a little bit later on, I think I have info about the Compass. Maybe I do or don't. Well, then I'll just touch on it now. The Compass is going to be going away totally by ACT. ACT runs the Compass. It's going to be going away by the end of this year. We're in the midst of testing out the placement parameters for the AccuPlacer as a replacement for the Compass. So we don't have that available yet, but we are still able to use the Compass, so therefore we're going to utilize it for this coming academic year to test our students with. And it will test in the areas of reading, writing, and math. So there are, in order to be eligible to take like English Comp and some of our math scores, we're going to be looking for placement scores within the Compass that are at a certain area, or a certain range, and we're also going to be looking, or if you've taken the ACT, you'll have the general admission score, but then if you're looking to take the comp class, or you're looking to take some of our math courses, then we're going to be looking at your math scores within the ACT or SAT, so that we can make sure that you are able, in the range of being able to take those courses successfully. So I just want you to realize that. So you may be admitted, but we may have to evaluate whether or not you're eligible for certain courses. You do have to meet prerequisites for some. In the application process, as I said, you're going to complete the paper or the online application. You're going to submit those official high school transcripts through the guidance office, submit your ACT, SAT, or take the Compass. I think, are we still going to keep it? Are we still going to offer it here? Okay, so you do have the opportunity of taking the Compass through the guidance office as well. If you have scores that you, ACT or SAT or score that you're looking at already and you're going, oh, I'm just underneath it, the Compass is an option for you. You can take the Compass test for possible admittance into the program as well. And then you also need to submit a signed parent and student acknowledgement form. So if you look in the packet behind on the left-hand side, you'll see the application. You'll see if you're a return student. We have some return students. I see Matt, I see Luke, so if you're a return student and you're looking to take courses next year, we will need you to take the return student short form, okay? And Mrs. Knechtel, well, you have a copy of that, so you can submit that as well. The student agreement form, and then we do we need you to also, as parents and as students, be aware of the FERPA regulations, and there's a brief synopsis of what's contained in FERPA, what it's about, and what by signing what that information will be about. It's basically about what we can talk with you about, what we can't talk with you about, what student record, and what is, whether or not we are, as, I know it sounds crazy, I have you're like thinking my student isn't 18 and there's information that I can't talk to you about. Yeah, unfortunately, once by law, whether they're 18 or not, if they're a college student, that college record becomes the student's record, and it no longer belongs to the parent. When you're in high school, the high school records belong to the parent, but that's not the case in the college realm. So we need to have you review that information, and your student has to sign for permission for us to be able to communicate with you once they've become an accepted student. Okay? Did I get that right, Ms. Heather? Okay. She's my policy expert, so. All right. So there is no application fee as well. We have no fee for that. We want, again, to make this as accessible as we possibly can. The options that we have, Mrs. Knechtel really went over a lot of things. I'm just kind of filling in on some of the basics that she shared. You can take your courses here at the campus. You saw some of the courses that we have offered this year and are looking to hopefully offer next year. And it certainly is very, very important for you to fill out those packets that she gave to you regarding the master scheduling, because that will help us in being able to build those courses and decide what we're going to offer next year as soon as we possibly can, so that we, once we hear from you, we can solidify plans, and then that makes it a little bit easier for you to get your plan solidified as well. You can also take courses at our campus. Now, our campus is I travel it 3 days a week, so from the FCA campus, with traffic, it's approximately about 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes one way. So you keep that in mind. If you have a student that leaves early during the day, that's possible. They could take some courses on campus, but you are responsible to get them there, to get them back and forth. FCA is not, so keep that in mind. Also keep in mind the fact that they will be engaging with students who are of college age. Up to 22 years and beyond. We have adult students that also come and take coursework as well. So you have to think about, do you feel comfortable with them being on a college campus with older students? Maybe they have a group, for example, that has to get together to work on a school project, and they say, well, they're college students, so when do they get together? Well, late at night, right? So they're going to say, hey, we're going to have a group that gets together at, I don't know, Tim Hortons at 10 o'clock. And your kid's in 8th or 9th grade. Do you know what I'm saying? So those are some of the things you want to think about, because those are waters that you might end up swimming in. Does that make sense? Things like that. And it is a Christian campus, but we do talk about real life things. So there may be also courses that may have adult themes that you may or may not be comfortable having your children exposed to. So do keep that in mind as well. But as we said, it's a Christian campus, so we do care about what we're saying and the spirit that we're saying it in as well. But those are just little logistical things that sometimes we don't think about, but it's good to keep in mind. Most of our courses are 1 to 200, and online, I forgot about it. Ms. Heather, I'm surprised she didn't throw something at me to remind me. But a great majority of our students actually take online courses. Now, the majority of our FCA students take courses right here, but we do have the online option. And if you look on the right-hand side, you'll see a listing of the fall and the spring online courses that we will be hosting for the 2016-2017 school year, as well as the summer term, but we'll get to that in just a moment. But I do want to make you aware of those pieces of paper. So we do offer a variety of online courses during the fall and the spring, and we will hold some during the summer as well, so keep those in mind. You will be assigned an advisor if you're taking online format. There she is, Miss Heather. If you are here at FCA, you get me. Lucky you. So you can come and talk to me anytime. You know I'm here 3 days a week. I can make time to talk with you. You can email me. We can call. And certainly we always work through Mrs. Knechtel and Mrs. Stevens. I don't leave them out of the process too. So, but I'm here to answer questions and help you out. And I'm looking at some possibilities of how to make a mandatory advising. This year we have to do a mandatory advising session with each of my advisees, which would be you. So I'm looking at a creative way to do that. And one way maybe I'll be talking with Mrs. Knechtel and Mrs. Stevens about possibly some creative ways of making that happen, that it's not cumbersome for everybody. We also offer pathways to pursue different degree paths, and I think that's something that Mrs. Knechtel and Mrs. Stevens and I are trying to offer you as well, that enables you to have a pathway to complete your high school education, but also begin the college level process too. And there are other options that you can seek online as well as here on FCA campus. But again, we want to keep in mind the needs that you have for your life. You're taking courses, but you're also probably in sports, or you may have extracurriculars, a life outside of school, and you want to think about how does that all blend together. Transferability. We're accredited with the Ohio Board of Regents and the Higher Learning Commission. And we're also part of the transfer evaluation system and transferology. If you go on to transferology, for example, you can type in information on a course that you may have taken. So maybe Luke wants he's taken sociology this past semester and did very well. So he wants to see if this particular school that he's looking to go to will accept the credits that he has undertaken with OCU. So he can go into transferology and he can see if that course has been transferred between our schools. It doesn't mean that the school would necessarily accept it as a full credit. They may accept it as elective, they may accept it in many different ways. But we just don't, it just means that crediting hasn't exchanged between our particular schools. But if it has, then that record is in transferology and you can access that information. Some of the benefits of Trailblazer Academy, I think really Mrs. Knechtel touched on a lot of that very beautifully. It certainly helps you to make a transition into the college environment, get a taste for what college work is like, what the expectations of a professor would be like, what the homework is like, kind of figuring out what time, what does it take, the time to be able to do college level work, and also help you think about getting a little further down the road, having that ability to take care of some of those general ed classes and be further down the road in your college experience too. And certainly it saves money. It is a great opportunity in that realm. This year, if you take courses online or on campus, all of our course materials will be covered by the university. So if you decide to take Intro to Government with Miss Heather in the fall, that the materials, actually there's no materials so that's a bad example. Let's think of another one. If you take, not general psych or soc, because you're going to take it with me, but if you take, let's see, a math course with OCU, the materials for that will be covered by OCU. Okay, does that make sense? We have right now at OCU just a little bit about us. You can certainly read some of it in your booklet. When we started out in 2006 with our very first batch of students, we had 6 students. 6. In 2009, we had approximately 40 students in what was then the PSEO program. And today, this year, we've had 470 students. So we're one of the largest private entities with the CCP program in the state of Ohio, which is pretty exciting to us. And we've had our students are successful in their courses. We really try to work hard to work with them and help them. Certainly things happen with students and they get overwhelmed at times, and you may have those issues with courses that are maybe failed or didn't turn out the grades that you were hoping for. But we really try to work hard with our students to give them the support they need to be successful. But one thing we cannot just state anymore, emphasize enough, is that the proactiveness of the student, that you need to know that you're empowered to say when you need help, to talk to your instructors, to talk to people who can offer you encouragement and help when you're in the midst of your courses and maybe you're feeling overwhelmed, or things are getting things are slipping, or you have questions but you're a little afraid to ask. The professors we welcome you to come to us and talk to us about the needs you have, the questions you have, because we want to work really hard to help you be successful. One of the new events that happened this year was the opening of summer courses to be credited by the CCP program. And because of that implementation, it's kind of sped up the process a little bit this year. If you notice, there is a form with the summer term course schedulings in your paperwork. There's the on-site, on-campus summer sessions, and we have for the TRAD program, traditional program, and then we also have some online summer sessions that are available through the traditional program. And then at the very bottom, you'll see the Trailblazer Academy courses that we've put together for our students to take advantage of during the second semester in the summer term. Session rather, in the summer term. Because our first summer session starts May 9th, it is good for you to know the deadlines on that. If you want to flip to the deadlines. Oh, there it is. Okay. That is why we have an application deadline now of March 18th, so that with the private entities, we have to get your acceptance taken care of and letters back to you in time to be able to turn in the acceptance letter with your funding form. So that's why we've had to accelerate it. So it's important for you to know that deadline. All non-public students must have all application materials in by March 18th to us to meet the April funding form application deadline, and registration deadlines for the summer courses for the summer session. Number one is April 8th, so it's important for you to know that if you're interested in any of those courses in the first session, that's an early date. So we need you to know that. And for session 2, April 29th. And then the summer course sessions start May 9th, and then you can see the dates for the other sessions starting. For fall registration, if you want to flip to the next one, fall registration priority deadline is July 22nd. Final registration deadline is August 5th. Fall on-campus classes start August 31st, and the fall online classes start August 29th. And the CCP dates here at FCA would be similar to, I think we start usually a little bit earlier, but I don't know what your... 17th. The 17th of August? Okay. So it'd be starting the week of the 17th of August. We would be starting classes here at FCA. Okay? The information on the courses are right there for you to take a look at. I think, for the most part, I think I've covered everything I was thinking. Was there anything else that you can think of I left off? Okay. Heather and I will be available to meet with any of you to answer questions that you have. And I know that Mrs. Knechtel and Mrs. Stevens are available to you as well to answer any questions that may come up as well. So I want to turn things back over to Mrs. Knechtel, and thank you again so much for welcoming me and having us here tonight to meet with you.
Thank you. The only, if you are interested in OUL, that is something that you need to meet with Mrs. Stevens or myself. That's a little trickier. It's not that real difficult. Applications for OUL, all of the application information, even though it's not on your website, it is on our website because Mrs. Stevens has got all that stuff for OCU and OUL. So that is available as well. So I'm just going to end this, and then if you have individual questions about anything, like I said, the four of us are going to be up here. I thank you so much for coming out and appreciate your time. So go Knights, beat Fisher. Yes! And thank you, media team.